music lovers, music fans, and music freaks like me. My name is Caeser Pink.
Let your mama down. Let your mama down. Let your mama down. Baby, please.
Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to listen to the song Lovesick by Bob Dylan.
I spoke like a child. You destroyed me with a smile.
And then we'll re-watch the song during his Grammy performance when the soy bomb incident happened. Now, before we get started, please like and subscribe. All the proceeds from this channel are donated to the Arete Living Arts Foundation. If you want to support us further, you could join our Patreon or make a tax-deductible donation, and I guarantee you it will go to a good cause. So let's talk about Dylan at this period. I think this may have came out in '95. Now, through the '80s, I feel like Dylan was kind of at his weakest as far as creative output. I wouldn't say that it was bad, but it wasn't up to the extraordinary standards that Dylan set for himself during the 60s and 70s. Now, I have a friend, and every time a new Dylan album came out, when I visited this friend, he would play the albums for me, and it would be like, okay, this is interesting. But when he played this one, about 15 seconds into it, it was like a bolt of electricity hit me. Right away, I loved it and connected with it. There was just something different about it. I went and bought the, album on CD, and not only did I love it musically, it really spoke to me in a very deep way. And I've heard a lot of people say, like a lot of younger people who had heard of Dylan but didn't really connect, that this was the first album of his that they connected with him and started to understand why people love Dylan so much. Now, this is a very different Bob Dylan than the Bob Dylan of the 60s, different vocal style, different sound. But let's jump right in. We'll listen to a little bit of this and then stop and discuss it some. Here we go. Bob Dylan, Lovesick.
I'm walking through streets that are dead. Walking with you in my head. My feet are so tired, my brain is so wired. And the clouds are weeping. Did I hear someone tell a lie? Did I hear someone's distant cry? I spoke like a child, you destroyed me with a smile while I was sleeping.
Now let's talk about the music itself a little. To me it sounds very haunting and very swampy. Swampy in the sense of old blues music. that you feel like it came from the swamps of New Orleans. Now, to me, this is blues music. Musically, it doesn't follow the traditional 1-4, 1-5-4 chord structure, but it's blues music in a sense that his voice and lyrics just carry an aching from the soul that cuts so deep. I really like the organ playing in this. I'll look up the organ player. The whole band sounds great. The pedal steel came in on a very high note just before I stopped it, and that was very haunting. Reminiscent of some kind of creepy old country music songs that I listened to, some Hank Williams stuff. Let's listen more.
I'm sick of love, that I'm in the thick of it. This kind of love, I'm so sick of it. I see lovers in the meadow. I see silhouettes in the window. I watch them till they're gone, and they leave me hanging on to a shadow. I'm sick of love. I hear the clock tick.
Now let's stop and talk about Bob's voice some. Now, he gets a lot of criticism for a voice. Some say his voice is wrecked. But I think it sounds beautiful here. It's really up front in the mix. It's like it's right in the room with you. And to me, it sounds like it was recorded in one of those old-fashioned microphones from the 30s or something. But this song and these lyrics, I think, could only be told by this voice. You can feel the pain, you can feel the experience. It's just aching. Now, another thing that happens in music, when it gets to what I guess could be called the chorus, where the song's going along kind of quietly, and then they hit those two guitar chords and his voice gets loud. Now, when his voice gets loud, on one hand, there's a lot of pain and vulnerability, and you can hear the age and you can hear the weariness in his voice. Yet it suddenly becomes painful. It's like, through all this pain and misery, I'm still strong. I'm still fighting to become strong. And it's from an album called Time Out of Mind. And this type of feeling can be found the whole way through it. And I mentioned a little bit earlier that only this type of voice could sing these lyrics and tell these stories. Now, a lot of singers have covered songs from this album, and usually they're a lot of female singers with very skilled, majestic voices. And even though they're beautiful songs, these voices can't really convey the feeling because the voices are too soft and too youthful and don't have the life experience to tell these stories. Let's listen again.
this kind of love. I'm lovesick.
Now, I love the production on this. The keyboards are kind of up front, and the organ has a delay on it. That's I don't know how long it is, but it's a fairly long delay. And the drums, which are over on my right side, sound like they're tin cans or cardboard boxes or something. Not what you're usually looking for. It's definitely not the modern rock drum sound, but it's so perfect for this. All the production elements come together to support the mood of the songs.
Sometimes the silence can be like thunder. Sometimes I wanna take to the road and plunder. Could you ever be true? I think of you, and I wonder. I'm sick of love. I wish I never met you. I'm sick of love. I'm trying to forget you. Just don't know what to do. I'd give anything to be with you.
Now, this was the first song in the album, and it really set the tone and the theme for the entire album. If I have my facts right, I believe he just ended a relationship, or a relationship ended that he was in. I believe it might have been with a black woman, and it seemed, based on the lyrics, that he was very devastated by this, and this kind of goes on throughout most of the album. And around this time, I'm not quite sure the timeline, either just before the album or after the album was recorded but not released, he was in the hospital. I can't remember what he had, but I believe it was kind of a near-death experience. And I'm not sure whether that experience played a role in these lyrics or not, but it's definitely existential, definitely deals with some issues of aging. For me, this album, now one thing, people don't talk about this much, but often music plays a role in people's identities and in their self-image. You know, for instance, metalheads, you know, that's an identity that means something to people. Same with punks. And in a lot of ways that's true. You know, even maybe teenage girls who listen to love songs and broken-hearted romance songs, and it not only expresses but also helps define who they are and what what ideas they think about and what is important to them. Now, when this album came out, I think I was probably 32 years old, and I just moved from back in the country to New York City, and I was kind of questioning. I came up here to be a musician, and I was questioning my age at 32. It seems hilarious to me now. But, you know, I was older than most of the people in the game. And this album really helped me change my own self-image. It was a voice which helped me deal with where I was at in life in a new way. As I talked about, there's a weariness, but also an incredible strength in a lot of these lyrics, and that helped me see myself as I moved into the future. You know, I did feel pretty weary at that time. I had been homeless, living in a car for a while, working at a factory to try to get money to come to New York, and also I just ended a very passionate relationship that had a horrible, dramatic ending, and lovesick. Just that phrase spoke to me. I mean, all the lyrics in this song, all the lyrics in the album spoke to me, but that phrase, which is how I felt. I remember around that time, the woman I split up with wrote a letter to me, and as I was opening it, I began to feel very sick, just physically ill. And I read it, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore. I can't think about it. I have to just try to move on and forget it. The heartbreak was just too overwhelming to think about anymore. So for me, this was a very defining album, both in terms of my identity as far as moving into middle age, I guess you might call it, at 32, and also to try to deal with this devastating breakup that I was in the middle of, or in the end of, perhaps. But as I said, this album really resonated with a lot of people. Amazingly, it won a Grammy. Now, the next thing we'll watch is his performance of this song at the Grammys. Now, this performance is famous not only because it was a great performance, but also the love bomb incident. Unbeknownst to Dylan and the band, somebody from the crowd, well, actually they had a bunch of people sitting around the back and the side of the stage to kind of create a feel. And I think this guy jumped out of there. He was a performance artist. He had no shirt on. And he had Love Bomb painted on his chest. And he just came out and started dancing. At first, Dylan looked a little scared. And then, eventually people came and took him away. And one of the musicians looked at Bob and kind of laughed. And Dylan just looked like weary and only slightly bemused. But let's check this out. This is Lovesick at the Grammys, probably 95 or 96.
I'm walking through the streets that I did. Walking with you in my head. My feet are so tired, my brain is so wired, and the clouds are weeping like a child. You destroyed me with a smile while I was sleeping.
Now let's talk about this performance a little bit. His voice is certainly a little more raw here. One thing I noticed, there are two microphones on his stand. One seems to be a fairly modern mic, and one an old-fashioned microphone. He seems to be putting his mouth mainly to the modern microphone. I don't know if the old-fashioned microphone was just a set decoration or whether they were actually recording with two mics. Now his demeanor is interesting. At first I thought maybe it was just emotionless, but then when you really look at the close-ups, his face, it's very melancholy, I guess, with sometimes there are hints of pain. But his voice is like cracking. It sounds fragile, like it could collapse at any time, although at times still powerful. But, again, those two things, the fragility, the weariness, and then the moments of power. Now, another thing I noticed is when he's not singing, he backs up from the mic a few steps. But sometimes when he goes back up to the mic, he kind of bends his knees. There's almost a little bounce to his step. And I saw him the next year, and it was an amazing performance. And it was almost like he was dancing on stage, often without a guitar, played a lot of... when he doesn't play guitar, he's actually a very good harmonica player. But let's continue. But those are the few things that I noticed about this performance.
I'm sick of love, and I'm in the thick of it. This kind of love, I'm so sick of it. I see lovers in the middle. I see silhouettes in the window. I watch them till they're gone. They leave me hanging on to the shadow. I'm sick of love. I hear the clock tick.
I'll give Bob credit. He looks confused and bewildered, but he never missed a word, never missed a note. I don't know what the soy bomb guy was all about, or whether it was just a way to draw attention to himself. But let's continue.
I'm sick of love. I'm lovesick.
Now, I love hearing Bob's guitar solo. I mean, nobody ever really accused Bob of being a great guitar player. He plays very simply, but that solo was perfect. Using what he could do to express what he feels, and it's perfect within the other instruments of the song. There was a part there where, to make it peak more, the bass player was hanging up on the high notes of the bass. And Bob's so nonchalant, yet you see him on the peaks of the solo, like bending his knees and just feeling the rock and roll and the groove and the emotion.
Sometimes the silence can be my thunder. Sometimes I wanna take the road and wonder. Did you ever be true? I think of you, and I wonder. I'm sick of love. I wish I never met you. I'm sick of love. I'm trying to forget you. I just don't know what to do. I'll give anything to just be with you.
That's an amazing performance. And you see the last second there where everybody's applauding, Bob's kind of shifting around, and and just for a second you see this like bit of a grin just out of the corner of his mouth. But one thing that I picked up on watching it this time was the phrase, the lyric, "I wish I'd never met you." I remember the romance the breakup I was going through, saying those exact words to the young woman, and that really hurt her. But I was just so frustrated, and and then he continues on, "I'm trying to forget you," but then ends with, "I'd give anything to be with you." And those three lines really sum up breakups and heartbreak in a way. Anyways, I think that's an incredible song, incredibly moving song. And it's one of those songs that takes you back to a moment in time in your own life. I'm sure most people have music like that when they hear it, it transports you back in time. So if you thought that was interesting, you enjoyed it, please check out the Bob Dylan album, Time Out of Mind. It's sort of a masterpiece in my book. And again, please like and subscribe. Thank you for visiting my channel. Hope to see you soon.